We pledge ourselves to thee.
All right, one and all. Now, this is your opportunity to chime in on what you just heard. We just witnessed a live broadcast, a global message from it's not a local message, it's a global message from the Prime Minister, Dr. Kit Mitchell, who spoke about an array of items, of things, a lot of topics. I want to get your guys' reaction on what was said here. So from the top, we're going to open up the line. I was watching the chat, and you guys are very opinionated about the Prime Minister's speech. Now, a lot of people also somehow were expecting a big reveal tonight. A lot of people was expecting that the Prime Minister will make an announcement as it relate to the election. That did not happen. Instead, the Prime Minister spoke in extensive remark and conversation as it relates to the pension issue. The pension issue. That is the major takeaway from the Prime Minister's speech today. But I want to get your guys' reaction on it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are. We're going to have a few of our correspondents joining us as well to wrap it up and sum it up. But most importantly, here is the question. Here is the question, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let me put a number up. Here is the question. What was your takeaway? What did you get after listening this message here today? What were your views on it? Let me share the program a few times. All right, yeah. What was your views on the Prime Minister's speech today? Donna, I see you. All right. So Anthony Ridge is saying, I keep saying election will be next. I know a lot of people expected some kind of election, or at least some kind of dissolution of parliament or something. That did not happen. So again, we open up the phone lines, guys. 718-701-5720. What's your takeaway from the Prime Minister's global speech here today? Folks are saying that it sounded a little bit like a campaign speech. Let us know what you think. 718-701-5720. We also have, I'm going to be joined by Dwight Sampson. Dwight is got a chance to watch the speech. Jason, how are you doing? Jason Phillip, thank you so much, Jason. Dwight, could you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you fine. All right, Dwight Sampson, how are you doing, my brother?
Well, how are you?
All right, I'm good. All right, so a lot said here. I want to get your initial reaction. What did you see? Did you get a chance to see it, or what did you see, and what's your takeaway from what the Prime Minister said here tonight.
All right. So good night. Everybody. Good night, your viewers. Junior, to be honest, is just another address. I'm not even sure what the Prime Minister's return is when he decided to do a national address. What the purpose? I think generally, like every other national address, they look forward to.
Right.
And what persons were looking forward, especially in this pandemic.
Hold on, Dwight. For some reason, your audio is cutting out every other word you're saying. I don't know why we're getting that. Let me see if I could fix that. Stand by. I think I know why. Stand by. Fix that. All right. I think we fixed that now. All right, Dwight, go ahead.
All right, you're good now?
Yeah, you're better now.
Yeah. I think generally in this post-pandemic period, what people are looking forward to is hope.
Right.
People want answers to their problems. They want their problems solved. I think people generally want, something from the political, the holders of political office to offer some sort of incentives that will help them chatter these unchattered waters, in this difficult time. And I'm not even sure if this national address has done that. I think it has more questions than answers, as per usual. And it gives you the suggestion that this probably is like a final straw that this administration is holding on to. It's just, Junior, to be honest, it's just a waste of time. It's just a waste of time. You're not motivating the people. You're not encouraging the people. You're not giving them something to hope for. So why? What exactly was it about? What was the intention? What was the original understanding, the agreement that brought you to this? I don't know.
Right. What was your thoughts when the Prime Minister announced that the administration will not appeal the court ruling? And something that a lot of people was talking about. Obviously, it was said that the government of the day will appeal the court ruling. He came out to address that and also made mention that he's willing to reach out and sit with the trade union, with the leaders, to come to an amicable resolution to this issue. The first one that they had, that they did not attend, but he still has an open door policy to listening to them. What's your take now that, as far as what the Prime Minister is saying, that the government will not appeal that court ruling?
Well, Junior, of course, the NNP administration, and I say NNP administration for a reason, will not oppose the court ruling. First of all, we're in an election year. And perception matters. Perception has always mattered for the NNP administration. And so they know that historically, two of the biggest employers in the state of Grenada is the St. George's University and the government of Grenada. And so if the government of Grenada has been one of the largest employers on our island, decides they're going to appeal a ruling that puts money in the pockets of people who have served our nation, some for 20, 30, some close to even 40 years, at the time of an election, it's not going to go well for them. It's just not going to go well for them. And so they know that they have to do the politically correct thing, which is not to appeal, and to sit with the trade union council and see how they can come up with an amicable solution. But what I'm saying is, Junior, this whole issue of the pension has been a conversation for decades. Before this government, during this government, even after in 2008, this government and again with this government in 2013. It has been a conversation. And if this government was ever serious, about making life comfortable for our retirees who have served our country in various positions, this government would have sat down with the trade unions years ago and come up with a plan to address the pension situation. For a court had to decide on the relations and the faith of those who have served our country is something I just can't fathom.
Right.
For a court to decide that, not the political persons that we put in various offices, a court. If Dr. Mitchell and Mr. Bowen and all of the others were ever serious about answering this cry for better living conditions, for our seniors to be able to afford basic, and especially in this post-pandemic period, they would have done it years ago. And I'm very sure, because we seem to be able to find money when it's convenient to the administration. They pick a fight with Greenlick, they have to rebuy Greenlick. Or at a time when teachers were striking and saying, listen, we want what was promised to us. Be it was an election gimmick or whatever it was, we want what. They could not. Instead, they had insult to injury by ducking their salaries because they choose to do what is constitutionally their right. Right? Then they turn around and buy over Greenlick. All I would say to the Green Indian populace, that this meeting between Dr. Mitchell is talking about between himself and the union, it's only to buy time. That's all it is. Let's call spade a spade and let's call Jack a Jack. It is to buy time, Junior. It is to buy time so that they can go through the election campaign, hopefully win the election with some kind of promise, and after the election, go back on their promise as they have done with the teachers. And I'm saying, enough is enough. Come on. Do what is right. Do what is right and pay our retirees their pension. There are a number of NNP past ministers and MPs who have retired and are living comfortable. They are living comfortable after serving 2 terms, 8 years. They go home to a big pension and live comfortable. But the people who actually done the work, the technicians, the ones who bend their back, going home to what? Come on.
Right. Guys, we want to get your views on what was said here today, the Prime Minister's national address, global address, as he outlined a few things. But this is a reaction about how you feel. What's your thoughts? I know that a lot of people are able to watch this broadcast. And what was your major takeaway from this broadcast? The Prime Minister had it in a sort of different forum today, where he had a live audience. And he invited some special guests that we saw in the audience there. And he made mention of one particular name that I guess raised a lot of eyebrow in the group that will be coming together to find an amicable solution to this at the end. And he named the leader of the TGM. What was his name?
Dr. Patrick Antwine.
Patrick Antwine as a part of that committee. We're talking about that. Let's jump to the phone and get a call. Caller, you live. Where are you calling us from? Okay, we lost that caller. Yeah, he named Patrick Antwine as a part of that group. And someone messaged me afterwards. Hold on. Let's take that call again. Caller, you live. Where are you calling us from? Hello?
Hi, I'm calling from Ghana.
Go right ahead, Granance.
Junior, what the young man was talking about, everything is so true.
Right.
Where I live, I see, you could say everything. I remember sitting there and my other half, no, I was washing clothes, and my other half called me and say, come and see that now. You remember the yacht? We have this yacht, windjammer, we call it, but we come on Sundays or in the weekend pick up people. We was on the beach, take him and pick up people and bring them back the same night.
Oh, hold on one second. Which program are you referring to? Are you talking about the program with the?
Oh,
yeah. You're talking about the program that we had earlier today.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're responding to the program that was earlier today, not this current reaction program that we're having live right now. All right. Let's give let's give some audio visual on the meeting earlier today. Okay, let's jump to the phone lines and taking this caller. Caller, you live?
Good afternoon.
Okay, caller, go right ahead.
Well, I would just like to say congratulate Dr. Mitchell on a good speech. I think it was well put together because at the end of the day, it's not a Kit Mitchell issue, and the pension was not resolved by the NMP. People have to realize that it was the NDC who take all the pension from Grenadians, you understand? And NDC had a chance to put back the map into Grenadians' hand in 2008, and they did not do it. So now the court made a ruling for the NMP to do it, and the Prime Minister is doing his best, you understand? So,
right.
Yeah, he's a politician.
Right. So was that your only major takeaway from today? What was some of the other highlights that from the meeting today?
As the Prime Minister say, it is not only about the public sector union. It's unfair. All Grenadians are making contribution, so it's unfair to take away from the farmer, to tell the farmer that you cannot support them because you have to quote me the ruling to pay pension. It's unfair to take away from the children who need the school uniform, to tell them that they have to support the pension. It's unfair to take away the Imani program from the young people who need it more. Imagine, Junior, You understand? The Prime Minister go to take away and done with the Imani program and forget about the youth. Look at what happened in Trinidad and Tobago, because they don't have nothing in place for youth. You understand? As I say, and the Prime Minister continue to say, he is not perfect. He's made a lot of mistakes. But when it's come to Grenada, Carriacou and Petite Martinique, the Prime Minister and NMP has do a very excellent job, sir. A very excellent job. NDC had a chance in 2008 to fix for Kit Mitchell not to come back, and we was getting salary quite on the 10th of the next month. Nobody ain't talking about that, and we don't hear not even a trade, not even a trade union, not even nobody. In 2008 was there any trade union in Grenada? Because it seems like we didn't have no trade union in 2008. You understand?
Right.
How you call this man again? What with NMP again? The big trade union man. What is his name again?
Chester.
Chester was to lay down his life.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And he was a big NDC. He had also lay down his life Where was the trade union and them back in the days? You understand? You take the new national party and the prime minister to come and fix it. The prime minister is not perfect, the NMP is not perfect, but they're doing a damn good job, and we're giving them a next, not 15, another 30 again. Another 30 for all them NDC and them who run in the mouth. Tell them another 30, not 15. Another 30 is coming the way.
Okay. Thank you, caller. We appreciate your input, all right? Thanks for calling. Chime in on that, Samson.
I'm trying my best to be very respectful, but I think that caller is a little bit out of touch. Junior, that really was painful. It was painful to be honest. That's the most I can say. It's very painful. But one of the things that I want to allude to is that I've been hearing the conversation. And Junior, I'm not on the ground, and let's be real. I'm not on the ground, but I was on the ground. And there are persons that are talking about, salaries were late and this and that and the other. And granted, salaries were late. I was affected by it. And I think a lot of Grenadians were affected by it. But what a lot of Grenadians did not know, or probably refused to acknowledge, is that in 2008, the entire world went through a global recession. Yes. And as a result of that global recession, governments were put in a place where either they started laying off people or they took drastic measures to keep the existing employees. A lot of private sector companies had to lay off people because there was no money coming in. Travel fell drastically, and so on and so forth. The NDC, when they were elected into office, I believe it was July 8th.
Hold on, Samson. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you. I have a caller on the long distance line. They're waiting for a little bit. Let me just take an input and then we'll come back to you. Caller live, where are you calling us from? Okay, credit finish. It was on that long distance line. Guys, if you call in and you're calling from Grenada, you don't have to call on the direct line. You could call on the WhatsApp, which is 718-701-5720. All right. So you could get us on WhatsApp. It's not going to cost you anything. Again, 718-701-5720. So if I continue this, Samson, so go right ahead. Finish your thought.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So NDC, when they took over the reins of power, I think it's July 8, 2008, they fall smack dead into the global recession. Of course, NDC was new to governance after 3 election cycles, 1999, 2003, 3 election cycles. They were not in governance. And of course, it was a bunch of young politicians, not making excuses for them, but a bunch of young politicians and new politicians, new on the political arena. They didn't have the experience and the foresight as Dr. Mitchell. And what a lot of people don't realize too is that NDC has always had a transition of leadership. NDP never had. Since 1995 to present, Keith Mitchell has always been the political leader of the party. So even if NDP brings new blood or don't bring new blood, the point I'm making is that experience still remains with them. In several cases, that has not been the faith of NDC, maybe for their own doing or not for their own doing. They tried to charter Grenada through those difficult times as best as possible, right? They have made mistakes, they were infighting, they were everything. But we have moved away from that. And after that, Grenadians have given the NMP administration 2 election cycles with 15-0. 2. You expect within that space of time that people in Grenada should not be living in some conditions like you posted today, Junior? If it's and this government, opposed to any other government in the Southern Caribbean, has the most seed projects to assist the poor and vulnerable. We hear about it. But do we see it? There are still people living in vulnerable condition, and unless somebody pick up a cell phone and take a picture and post on the internet, we don't hear about it. We don't know about it.
Yeah, stick up in right there, Samson. Let's jump to the phone lines. Got a caller back on the line again. Caller live, where you calling us from?
I'm calling from Canada. I'm Canadian.
Yes, Canada. Go right ahead.
I've just listened the address to the nation. My thing is that in 2018, while the election was hot and the President Prime Minister wanted to campaign and to win the hearts and soul of the Grenadian, he said that he would pay pension. Okay? So you have 4 years in which you promised people that you would have paid the pension. 4 years to put something in place, to start the process. So as it comes now and the case come to an end now, because that case has been going on for a very long time.
Yes.
The case come to an end now. He should have something in place for the unions saying that that is the process and what they think about it. But he says tonight that they have no intention of appealing the decision. I mean, it's nice to hear that. But it would cost the Grenadian public $465 million plus $120 million each year for 37 years. So that's lots of money. But what I'm saying, my point is that he should have put something in place to deal with that situation because he knew it was coming. Because one lady appealed all through the Privy Council and she won.
Mm-hmm.
And to date, I think she passed away. To date, she estate did not receive no funds, no pension money. So what is he going to say? That is the thing I'm baffled about. What is he going to say for the next 5 years? Although in his speech, he said that he wants Grenadians to work with him for the next 5 years. But what do we have? What he have in place? That is what the Grenadian people want to know. I'm an ex civil servant.
Yes.
Okay. I served my country for 30 years. I started the 1st of July 1986 to 2015. I served for 30 years. I just reached 50 years. I'm just 50 years old. And I have the pension to get. As a result, I had to leave Grenada. I had to leave Grenada and come to a foreign country and see if I can get a pension when at the age of 60 or 62 or 65 or whatever it be. So what Keith have to tell the people, the unions, that 4 years now, 4+ years, that is the plan. That is what they plan to do as it relates to pension. Unless, come up with that, the unions would not listen to him. And that is what he knew, He know that.
Right.
He called a meeting and only the prison and the police, I think, that attended. I'm not sure if any other union attended that meeting last Thursday. And it's because he don't have a plan. He don't have a plan and he don't have nothing in place to tell the unions, well, look what he's been doing for the past 4 years. If he have that, then the unions will be willing to go and work with him to say, well, we know it's a lot of money you have to pay. I mean, Grenada not exporting anything as how they used to be with coconut, nutmeg, and banana. There is nothing really exporting. So they can work with him, but he don't have nothing in place. He have 4 years, 4+ years in which he promised to pay pension, and he have nothing in place for the 4 past years. If he had put something in place, or if he had developed a form, although he would lie, but develop something and say, you know what, unions, for the past 4 years, we promised, when we campaigned, that was one of the promises that we would pay pension. So that is what we had developed. Let's see how we can work on it so that at the end, everybody would be happy.
Right. All right. Thank you, caller. Thanks for your input on this. All right. Augustine,
Okay, thank you.
no problem. Augustine Pancho wrote earlier, Junior, who in their right mind expected the announcement regarding the dissolution of Parliament the PM will be making good on the pension decision before the next election. He went on to say that Keith Mitchell is a boss politician. Augustine Pancho, and I asked if Mr. Pancho could jump on, because I like to get varying views and opinions on this topic. I must also say, before this program, I reached out to various members of the NNP, and they decide that they did not want to come on and share their views on it. But I want to get as much as one as the other. I like to hear people's views on both sides. So we invite Augustine Pancho to jump on and get his view on the live reaction on what was heard here today. Samson, your views on the last caller.
Before I jump on the last caller, I want to say this, and this is before my time, because I'm a late 80s baby, so born in the late 80s. The revolution, from all of my reading and research, lasted about 4 years. Am I right?
Yes.
What is the legacy of the revolution?
Well, there are a few things.
The main legacy of the revolution is education for all. One of them, the main legacy. And forward ever, backward never. Forward movement. The NNP has been in power.
And eat what you grow. Eat what you grow what you eat. Eat what you grow. That's a great legacy.
And that's another one.
NIB and this, yeah.
You're right. I wasn't going to go all the way down there. I just wanted to start with education for all. NNP has been in power since 1995, with coming out in 2008 and going back in 2013 has been there since. What is the legacy of the NNP? For all of these years. Now the revolution has been 4 years. 4 years. And we just named about 3 or 4 things, positive things that the revolution has been about. And in the last 27 years, 23 or 24 of that, the NNP has been in power. And all we can say for the NNP, not a national airport, international airport. We have a stadium that's basically closed down. The last one, no insurance was on it, and that crumbled during Ivan. The Botanical Gardens, maybe? The Imani program? What is the legacy of the NNP for the last 23 plus years? I just want to ask that question and throw it out into the stratosphere. Now, what Augustine said is what I believe happened. I believe that the Prime Minister was ready to ring the bell. In an effort to catch NDC ill-prepared for a general election. And then the court ruled, and all of that gone away. Because there's no way the Prime Minister, no, Keith Mitchell, the Prime Minister, let me put that there, is one of the brightest politicians that we have in the Caribbean. Let's be honest, let's be fair. He's been there, he has the experience, he's up there. The Prime Minister knows that if he calls the election and this pension issue is not, he's going to lose the election. There's no questions about it. And so that is the reason why there's such a beckon to meet with the trade unions and come up with a solution. It is to do 2 things. Stall, waste time, so that the election will come and go, and to come up with some kind of promise, to make some kind of promise that the unions may hold on to. The election will come, the election will go, and the promise, just like the election, will go. Because we have seen it happen in the past. And I'm saying, after 20 odd plus years in governance, at which point are we going to take the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique seriously? The young politician from St. George's Northwest, Jonathan Lacrette, said something profound. This election is not just another election. This election is for the generation to come. And The Prime Minister calling an entire national address and bringing all his boys and friends together in the same room for a national address to tell us about legacy and about what he planning to do with the pension, all of that, does not solve the problem of the pension not being paid. So instead of they wasting time and resources that they say they don't have to call a national address with audience, why not use that time to come up critically? You don't need the trade unions, you know. Sister Madonna Hufford is a retired trade unionist. You can call her. And there are many others. You can call and discuss this with another. You get the wealth of experience and knowledge to come up with a solution that you can now take to the trade union and say, listen, we're not meeting, but this is my solution. This is how we are going to pay the hard-working Grenadian men and women who deserve to be respected after, just like a gentleman in the call said, 30 years, and he's living in Canada. Instead of he's home, farming some land, he's in Canada, contributing to another society. All due respect, Junior, we're in the same boat. But the reality is, we have had Imani from, and all due respect to Auntie Emma, Emmeline Pierre, I call her Auntie Emma, I have all respect for her. But the Imani program has been initiated and set up and structured. All it does, Junior, is to give people hope, to give them hope. But when it's time to deliver on that hope, come on. In this critical time, you're telling me you have young people working for $700, $800, $1,000? There are people who are making, people making $3,000, $4,000 that barely making it. What about these young people? And then you're telling us love. Love for who? Love for what? I personally can't live through or sit through another national address. Because it is the same rhetoric with different words. Nothing is being done. But when it is time, and it's close to election, I swear to you, Junior, and I don't usually swear, in the last 5 or 6 months, since after the NDC convention and the new leader and everything that happened post, I have been seeing so much pictures. I didn't even know that these MPs know how to use social media. So many different roads, building, and so on and so forth. Kudos to those who have maintained that. The kid, Lewis, I think that's on whatever new surname is, and the Delma and all of those. Kudos to them. But some of these MPs, you never saw a post from them. Case and point, St. David's. All of a sudden, elections is coming, so everybody is posting. My question is, we finding money to do everything else, but to honor the hard-working, hard-labored men and women who have served our country with diplomacy and dignity for all these years. It's absolutely ridiculous and shameful. And for the Prime Minister to do a national address that goes out to the entire globe about this issue is even more shameful.
Yeah. 718-701-5720. Want to get your views and reaction on what you saw earlier today, the Prime Minister national address, global address. Varying views and reactions. As I'm getting in my WhatsApp, people are saying that they were moved and touched by the Prime Minister's speech. Others saying that it was complete and total nonsense. He didn't have to call a whole meeting just to speak about that issue. He could have sent out a press release. And you get those mixed feelings and emotions from that. We want to get your reaction on it, guys. 718-701-5720. Again, going into this discussion, we invited a few members from the NNP, as we always try to do, guys, to come in and to support the idea and to speak about the platform of the NNP as it relates to the Prime Minister's speech. We reached out to at least 3 individuals who declined our offer to do so, but we still inviting anyone who has any contribution that they would like to make towards this discussion. They could call in live. The phone lines are open. If you don't want to call direct, you could call via WhatsApp. The phone number is right there on the screen. Let me put it up. 718-701-5720. And the question is, what were your major takeaway from the meeting here today? What did you take away from it? What can you say, or how you felt after hearing this? Let's talk. 718-701-5720. Let's jump to this call right here. Oh, call went off. All right. Yes, Samson, what do you think comes next? We had this discussion. We had the the Prime Minister making a speech a couple of days ago. He said he could sleep and wake, and there may be some kind of announcement. So get ready, prompt people up. Before I ask you that question, let me jump to the call. Caller, Eli, where are you calling us from?
Hi.
Hey, caller, how you doing?
Hello?
Hi, go ahead.
I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling from Grenada.
Hi, how you doing, Grenada? Go right ahead.
I think my takeaway from this is that the Prime Minister is just trying to delay what is inevitable.
Right.
That's a delay tactic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you think he's trying to delay?
All right, thanks.
Okay. All right, caller. Yeah. Saying that you think he's trying to delay the inevitable. I was asking you, Samson, you could comment on that as well, but I was asking you, what do you think is next? Because everybody's wild up right now. We've seen that campaign go into overdrive. Campaign now go into overdrive. Everybody's just went into hyper election mode. What comes next, do you think? What's your predictions?
Well, as I said in the beginning of this conversation, that I personally believe that the Prime Minister was all ready to call the general election, to give a date, and I believe personally that was to hold the NDCs rather in a state of unreadiness for the general election, and then this court ruling. What I want to say to you, Junior, is if we were to do a poll or to do some sort of survey or some sort of information gathering mechanism, we'd realize that a significant portion of the undecided voters in Grenada falls between that category of the pensionable age. Generally, the young people will always vote along the lines of opportunity, be it for job, be it for better life, be it for whatever the case may be. Persons generally in the middle of their life generally vote along the lines of better health care, better roads, because those things matter to them at that particular age. But when you are ready to serve and have done your time, and you're looking for quietness, you're looking for relaxation, you're looking to end your years after serving, and what matters to you really and truly is the seriousness of the conversation, the future of Grenada, because you're checking on you're reflecting on your grandchildren, your children. You want betterment for them. You want to make sure that they have equal opportunity. You want to make sure that what you work hard for the last 30, 40 years in some instances does not go unnoticed. You know, the contributions that you made, you want to see a better Grenada. And so you're looking for a political party that says, listen, I am coming and I'm restoring pension. I'm coming and I am rebuilding a library. I'm coming and I am the road network. The undecided voters look for that kind of conversation.
Right.
And I think what the Prime Minister, and this is my own personal view, what the Prime Minister did tonight was just looking for sympathy.
All right.
Just looking for,
Hold that thought there again. Samson, we got someone on the long distance line. Caller live. Where are you calling us from?
Hi, good night. I'm calling from Jamaica, but I'm Grenada.
Okay, go right ahead.
Okay, so I am also disappointed with the Prime Minister. I think it was just strategic. I think calls have been made from the public sector for the Prime Minister to announce that he was actually not going to appeal the matter. So he strategically did that. However, in the same breath, he's basically saying that they do not have the money to make the payments. And he's basically saying that there are other things that are more important, like other persons that he needs to assist, that he cannot imagine not helping them to pay public workers. Now, that is two separate aspects. No individual is more important than the other. These persons have already worked. They've worked for years. This is something that they deserve. Like, this is something that is in the Constitution that belongs to them. There should be no debate on that. And I don't agree that there should be further discussion. The court has made its ruling, and we know that the New National Party has a record of not actually following the court ruling. And persons do not trust them, and persons going to the table is definitely putting themselves in a compromising position, which I agree that they should not go to the table. So whatever is already discussed in the court, that matter should be put forward. I was rather disappointed by the Prime Minister that he stated that they had a plan to spend $100 million every year for the next 10 years. I think I stand corrected on the amount of years. I don't exactly remember. And I'm saying, why no? You choose to mention that now that the matter of pension is being, because it's basically saying, oh, we wanted to spend money on this, so we don't have money for pension. This was not mentioned in the budget. When were you going to start this project? So I just think it was just a whole gimmick, and I am not politically affiliated. So it's not I'm an NMP or I'm an NDC. I am an individual that is trying to make the best choice for my country. And at this moment, I'm not sold, and I'm rather disappointed. And I believe that this entire address was a part of his campaign that did not go in his favor, if you ask me. I think a lot of persons are rather disappointed. And if you are not intellectually inclined, he would have tied you up, as he always do, because my auntie called me a while ago and she was like, what did he say exactly? Because he said a lot of words round and round, and a lot of persons really didn't really get it, that he's basically saying that, yes, we don't plan to appeal, but at the same time, we can't afford to pay it because we don't have the money. It's going to crash the economy. Why are we not discussing the fact that after the first term, then the politicians get 1 year their gratuity, then after the second term, then they get gratuity and pension? Isn't this crashing the economy as well? But that's just my take. Yeah. I hope Grenadians can actually sit and listen both sides. Not because you're an NMP, you just listen to what Chit is saying and clap, or because you're an NDC, you just listen to what Deacon is saying and clap. We need to, for the first time, make an educated, well-read, well-informed decision on election day. It is very important.
Yes. Yeah.
That's me.
Thank you, caller. Thank you.
Alrighty.
All right, cool. Very important. I think you said a lot there. Yeah.
I wish you could join us on the program. She's very
Yeah. Yeah, no, go ahead, Samson.
No, I'm impressed. I'm very much impressed, because I think that caller just summed up what I've been trying to say for the last 20 odd minutes. This national address is a political gimmick. It was an attempt at a political stunt that did not work in the favor of the Prime Minister and the New National Party. And I think what the NMP knows is that, listen, practically all the sectors in Grenada is broken. The education sector, the health sector, practically all the sectors in Grenada is broken and desperately in need of attention. Just a few nights ago, the teachers were protesting. Come on, teachers who holds the education of our children in the hand is saying we need better wages. My children's mother is a teacher, and I understand the plight of teachers. And as the caller rightfully said, Junior, if you are not educated enough, the Prime Minister will well hold you. The Prime Minister will well, because he has the ability to use a lot of words and say nothing at the same time. Listen to any of his campaign speech and put it up against that national address, and you will see the difference.
Listen to the phone line. Caller, live. Where are you calling us from?
Hi, I'm calling from Grenada.
Yeah, go right ahead. Call Grenada.
Yeah. Good evening again. When I listened to the Prime Minister this evening, I could not help but think of the presentation over the weekend at the political meeting, where he gave an indication that election is around the corner, and then tonight establishing a committee, giving them 3 months to give a report on how to move forward with this pension issue. It either clearly states that we won't be having an election soon, because he would have given the committee a time to do their work and report, or it's a ploy to say, okay, I'm going to call election now, and so let us wait and see what the outcome of that would be. It is also interesting that the whole concept of consultation came up over and over. And you wonder why over the years, the issue of consultation was not taken seriously. We have a plan 2035, which was quote unquote based on consultation, but not really integrated into what is happening right now. So the talk about consultation, I have to put a serious question mark on. So again, tonight, I did not get any substantive visionary statement, but basically a complaint that, okay, we can't afford to do it. But I believe that we have to acknowledge that this is a reality that must be delivered. The court has made its ruling. And if we grow the pie, if we expand the economy, if we look at ways of creating initiatives, entrepreneurial opportunities for young people, for the general population, we can create the pie and deal with it. We cannot be pessimistic and complain. That is why I believe that given Brother Deacon Mitchell the opportunity to guide a team to build and expand the Grenada pie, is going to address some of these issues. In Grenada right now, if somebody making $2,000, they're making plenty of money. We have to get to the stage where the NIS contribution based on $5,000 is a joke. We have to think much bigger. And there are lots of examples in the region, Cayman, Turks and Caicos, Bermuda, British Virgin. There are lots of them that shows a GDP substantially higher than Grenada. And we can build the economy and grow. And this speech tonight is desperation. But I tell Grenadians, there's a limited time for us to address the issue through the electoral process. And I hope Grenadians will make the right decision. Have a blessed night.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate you. Again, guys, 718-701-5720, getting your live reaction on the Prime Minister's national address that was just televised. Let us know what you think. We saw varying views depending on where you looked at it. You see people are in support of what the Prime Minister was saying, and a lot of people was totally against it. And I'm getting comments as well in my WhatsApp from folks that are in support. And again, so we want to get you guys on the record. You could call up live and put your voice on it. 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. Samson, on the question of meeting with the trade union, right, after a decision was made by court, is that necessary? seeing that the judgment is already handed down, and would it jeopardize anything if the trade unions now were to go and meet with them after the judgment was made?
Junior, I think that the time for conversation, the time for talk, is over. I think what is needed now is action, and by action, I mean monies in the banks for our hardworking Grenadians who are now retired and would like to take their grandchildren to, I'm not even sure if it's still open, Rick's Cafe on a Sunday afternoon, get some ice cream, or Pizza Hut, or wherever, or just to take them on a stroll to come on pack, which this administration tried to sell. I think the time has come for this administration to make good. We have experienced economists throughout the length and breadth of Grenada. I noticed that he decided he's going to use his political once a political opponent in that of Dr. Patrick Antoine on the committee. Let us Andrew, who is a part of the NDC Big Four, is a experienced trade economist who I believe can make good contribution, and there are many others. It is time for the NNP administration to make good. You fought it and you lost. Now the time has come for you to do what is necessary to be done to ensure that our people are satisfied and happy. The meeting to do what? To say what exactly? To say what? Because at the end of the day, it is not for the trade unions to devise a strategy on how the pension is going to be paid. It's for the administration. It's for those who govern the country. So what are you planning to say to the trade unions? We're going to pay you $10 every month? No, that's not what I don't understand what this meeting is about. And in the Prime Minister's address tonight, you listen to me. I for a moment I got frightened. I thought that the man was going to cry. He was so passionate. And Grenadians, he wasn't passionate about being excited to honor and respect the contributions of your fellow brothers and sisters. He was passionate to say, I can't pay the money. There are more important things than you having a comfortable life after serving your country for 20 and 30 years and 40 years. I'm passionate to say I can't pay the money, so let me forget it. Let me come up with some other whatever. No, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable, and I want to say to Grenadians, how long are we going to fall for the same rhetoric? Jobs line up, oil and gas. What you want, what you go get. How long are we going to fall for the same rhetoric? Every election.
Someone said to me that this is the equivalence of the oil and gas speech that was said a few years ago.
Very much so. But in a negative, very much so. And I believe, Junior, there's another oil and gas speech coming with some big promise. Some big promise. And my question remains, Junior, how long are we going? Let me dive deeper. Grenadians have given this government 15 to nothing for 2 consecutive election cycles, 2013 and 2018. I ask you, Grenadians, what has been done in those 2 election cycles, those most 2 recent election cycles, to better the quality of life for Grenadians? What has been done to improve the living conditions for the poor and vulnerable? What has been done since the start of the pandemic to now to assist the hundreds of hotel workers who were made redundant basically because of the pandemic? What has been done to assist the employees of guest houses and all other members of the tourism sector. What has been done? For our hard-working essential workers, and essential workers, may I add, is not just the nurses and the doctors in the hospital. The orderlies are essential too, because they assist the doctors and nurses in doing their jobs. And instead of the Prime Minister, because no way in the 20 plus odd years that he has been Prime Minister, let me take that back. I want someone to show me in the 20 odd years that the Prime Minister has been Prime Minister that he has praised the doctors and nurses for their contribution to the health sector in Grenada, the broken health sector. Instead, he got on a podium and called them thieves. And I'm not campaigning because I'm not running in an election. And I'm at this moment not a part of any political bias. But at the same time, I'm a Grenadian, and I have to ask, how long are we going to fall for the same rhetorics? How long? And for the Junior, it is crazy. It is crazy. But what I saw tonight is a desperate cry from the Prime Minister. Because here's what. He's smack dead in the middle of an election cycle. And this judgment from the court could not have come at a worse time for him. But certainly a better time for others. Because there's no getting out of it. It's either you pay up or you shut up.
Right.
I call in for the show.
Let's jump on the phone lines right now. Call live. Where are you calling us from?
Yeah. I'm calling you live from Dominica, man.
Dominica. How are you doing, Dominica?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I just listened to the Prime Minister.
Yes.
And his last speech was thank God for the blessed spice country, and I have not understand what the Prime Minister has addressed the nation for. And what I'm saying, if you're going to address the nation, you come with something the nation want to hear. It's not something they know already. It is the election you're calling, call so people can go to the poll or something. I was not satisfied with the level of the way the Prime Minister addressed the nation. I mean, I follow Grenadian news all the time. I'm telling you, he's not ready yet, man. He have to go. I mean, change government will be the better solution to Grenada right now.
Caller, let me ask you a question, because I think you are in a good position to lend some clarity on your position. Are you affiliated? Are you Grenadian? You have any family in Grenada?
No, well, Grenada is a country I visit about 4 times.
Okay.
But I go on vacation, come on vacation and back. That's it.
Okay, so you have no horse in the race. But
I follow the OECS news because I'm a member of the OECS.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm a St. Lucian, but I live in Dominica.
Right. Okay. So I just want, you have no horse in the race. You're not for this party or that party, and your takeaway is that
no. I'm neutral.
Right. Your takeaway was that it didn't inspire nothing in you. It didn't bring any clarity.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking for some sort of relief, I mean, I don't see what he brings for the nationality of Grenada. The Grenadians was Grenadian, Piti Carrico, and Piti Martinique, I want to say, and yes. Carrico.
Yes.
You know, and this is what they want to hear.
Yes.
What relief we bring into, and say you're going to spend 100,000 for the next 5 years every year. So what is done for the past 20 years is only now you want to do that? I mean, I was very disappointed in him, you know. I listen to the broadcast as I see Grenada might call election, so I'm very, I follow your page and, I say I'm very anxious to hear the election coming up. Let me see, I mean, OECS Caribbean News, so I always follow up.
Right.
So I was excited, but in the end, I was disappointed.
Okay. All right, caller. Thanks for your
You know?
input. Keep it safe over there, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Got a caller on the phone line. Caller on the phone line, go right ahead.
Hey, Junior.
Hey, go ahead.
What's up, man?
Yeah, hi, how you doing? Where you calling us from?
Listen, MIA.
MIA. I hope that's not missing in action. No, it's Miami.
No, it's in action. In action. Not missing.
Okay. Yes. Go ahead.
Listen, this problem has what it is in Grenada is a serious problem regarding that issue that the Prime Minister talking about.
Right.
This been going on for a while. This situation was there long time ago. Government come, government go. No one fix this problem. It is there.
Right.
Now it take a court order for them to for the government to work on it.
Right.
Right. Now he's making a good move because he's trying to get all hand on deck to fix this. Because it's a serious issue.
Yes.
Grenada don't making money to say Grenada making money and they have the money to do it. You know, they don't, let me tell you something. People watching that like that. But that's serious, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's a serious case. So don't watch it they're taking it and looking at some people looking at it at one length.
Right.
That's a big issue. This is a big issue. So you have to make sure that you get it right.
Okay.
In other words, for the country to survive.
All right.
So what all the stakeholders should get involved and try to fix this thing and make it happen now, man. Instead of criticizing and think there's no time for criticize no more, man. There's time to get this thing, get on board, roll up your sleeve and get this and go to work. That is for the citizens of Grenada, each and every one of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, caller.
That's what's going on.
Okay. Thank you so much. Got a caller on the WhatsApp. Call on the WhatsApp. Go right ahead.
Yeah, good evening, my dear. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What I take away, how we find money to do a lot of other things that is not important. We ain't touch with healthcare, with money. We talk about the bushing, all this money, electricity. Where did we get the money to buy back Grand Lake and all these things? Where did all this? No.
Hold on, caller. I'm hearing a feedback from your end. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I don't just, to me, I'm really disappointed in that. To me, this thing should have happened long ago.
Right.
We are in an election mode now, and now you're getting ready to exit, and this is what you're coming with now. I think it's too late for us to have to scramble now to put this thing in place. It should have been in place a long time ago. We had enough time. You've been there a long time. We have a lot of bad money spent. Citizens buy investment money. This money spent here is a lot of bad money spent. And I think what the Prime Minister is doing, he's delaying that. So when NDC come in office, they will pay. That is my takeaway.
All right. Thank you, caller. Again, guys, we're going to keep the phone lines open for the next 5 minutes or so. We're going to go up until 7:10. Until that time, we'll close it down. So we want your input on the 718-701-5720, giving a live reaction to what you just heard, the global address to the nation, address to the world by the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Mitchell, who touched on a variety of issues, one of which he was very adamant about was the pension situation. And a lot of people said he spoke with passion, right? A lot of passion when he spoke about the pension issue. So we're getting your live reaction on it. Caller, you're live. Go right ahead.
Junior.
Hey, caller, go right ahead.
You hearing me clearly?
Yes.
Yeah, good night to you listening and viewing on some Facebook. Junior, when I listened to that speech lasts for almost how much minutes, Junior? 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Right. And the whole speech was about pension, right? Am I correct? Because I tuned in 5 minutes after the speech.
The majority of the speech was about pension.
Right. So I didn't want to miss out. I listened when it started, like 5 minutes after I tuned in. I missed out the first 5 minutes. And all this speech was about pension. Junior, what you pick up from that tonight? Junior, listen what I pick up.
Mm-hmm.
The Prime Minister was trying to persuade the Grenadian people that he will pay the money and he will not appeal. But after some time in the speech, the Prime Minister come back and tell you he will not pay. You don't realize that, what the Prime Minister did tonight? That's exactly what he was doing. So he's gimmicking the people. He's marweting the people. He thinks he's playing games. That's what he's doing. He's playing games with the people. Because he's saying that he would not appeal. He formed a committee. This committee will also be paid. They will be paid enough. All the names he called it. So at the end of it all, the Prime Minister is fooling the Grenadian people. That's what I want to say here. And another thing we should not forget. The late Herbert Blaise has told him that. You remember when Blaise the teachers wanted Blaise to pay that money in 1989 and he couldn't find that money. And the same leader now forced the duty president at the time to make him pay the money. And look what goes on to Blaise. And today we are seeing the same thing because Blaise told him what goes around comes around. And the hardest kick you could get is from a dying heart. That's how I know that when you do wicked stuff, you will pay. Junior, have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Have a good night. Okay, guys, we got 2 more calls. So if you want to call in, this is your last opportunity to put your voice on record on your reaction to what you heard here today. 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. That's the one number. You could call in on WhatsApp or you could call direct. If you call in from the Caribbean, you could call on WhatsApp. That's of course no charge. 718-701-5720. Samson, predictions. What's your take? What's your prediction on the next general election?
I think that this pension issue is going to be the death of the NNP government. I personally believe that because I think people are at the point where they're just fed up, and with gas prices the way they are, and with the cost of food, goods and services the way it is, people need money. And if wherever it comes from, legally, people want their money. As a small business person myself, if I'm owed, I want my money, and I think that this pension issue is going to be the defining factor for the next general election for the NNP. I do not think that Sister Pamela Moses, made a mistake. I do not believe that she made a mistake. As my personal opinion, again, we are suffering, and we continue to suffer as we suffered through 45 minutes tonight, waiting for some gleam of hope that never came. And my predictions for the next general election is if this government does not do something to answer this issue of pension, this is going to be the defining fact for them. And I believe, you see, the thing about the NNP is that they're using the same tactics, the same rhetoric, the same old joke. Last election, 95, 99, 2003, they're using the same election rhetoric and gimmick. promise, and don't deliver. And I think at this junction, Grenadians are overpromised. What they need, what they want, what they must see is delivery. And unless the NNP don't start to do that within the next 90 days or so, crap, go smoke their pipe. Let's be realistic. You have a young and energetic team in the National Democratic Congress. And I will say to the NNP, don't take them for a joke. Don't take them for granted. And I will say to Grenadians, we have tried the NNP. We have used the NNP. We have worked the NNP. But has the NNP worked for us? Has the NNP delivered for us? Has the NNP built for us? I am a proud product of the NNP, you know. They sent me to school, and I'm grateful. I am grateful. But I cannot think about me because I'm going out. I have to think about my children, my daughters, who lives in Grenada. I have to think about them and their future. Junior, we have St. George University right there in our doorsteps. If you can't afford it, you can't go. CAMCC, if you can't afford it, can't go. And that should never be. That should never be. But as Andy Williams in the South said, rightfully, what the NNP does is they dangle it in front of you, but when you stretch your hand for it, they pull it back. And that's a very dangerous game to play. But I want to say to the NNP that in this social media age, and this is my final thought, in this social media age, you would be very that social media teaches people how to read and write. Because I don't know, but I have children, and one of my 2 and one my 2-year-old was 1. She'll pick up a phone or a tablet and find YouTube, and we don't know how people know how to get the information that they need. And in this information age, and for a prime minister who is the head of ICT, to not understand that people just fed up. They just fed up. Pay the people their money. Pay the people their money. Let them go home and let them rest. And don't have to worry. Because we could find money to build double airstrip at Point Saline for God knows what reason, when flights to Carriacou, the basic kayak can't afford. We can find money to buy back Grenlec. And since we buy it back, well, I understand the power going every other day. We can find money to do every other thing. Put down multi-million dollar. Listen to me. I watched the launch of Pamela Moses. Two candidates launch an NNP rather. NNP had digital screens at their backdrop. Do we understand how much money that cost? Do we take it? This is not a national rally, you know. This is the launch of 2 candidates in the rural community. Grenadians, wake up and watch these things. Wake up and watch. They do not have money to pay pension. But Grenada, every election cycle, NNP put on multi-million-dollar campaign. And because we don't have anybody in the country who look at the books, it happens and continues to happen. It continues to happen. When will enough be enough? A whole 45 minutes to tell us you're not paying pension. So my question is, what you want to meet with the unions about? What exactly do you want to meet with the... Because you basically use a whole lot of big words to say you're not paying pension. So what was the meeting about? What is the meeting about? The proposed meeting with the Trade Union Council. What is that meeting about? My good friend Brian Grimes, I have to ask.
Yeah, well, we did put a call out to Brian Grimes to come and join us as well. And he mentioned that he had to have a conversation with his lawyers first. But for the next week program, we're looking to have a discussion with the unions to find out what they want out of it and how they feel now that the Prime Minister has made this statement and the meeting We're going to speak a little bit more in details next week, early next week.
I think we all know what the union want. The union want the pension to be paid. The issue is a junior. It's not who started it, you know. It's not who started it, but it's who has the belly to put an end to it. It's not who started it. Because it could have been started by NDC or NNP or GLP or whichever party. The question, the issue is not who started it, but who has the belly to put an end to it. And as one of the callers said, this process has gone to the Privy Council. So it therefore means that this whole pension issue has been a conversation for an extended period of time. You cannot tell me that the NNP government not sit down and say, let us prepare in the eventuality that the court rules against us. Or let me put it in ordinary terms for persons to understand. In the event that the court rules in favor of paying pension, in other words, when we lose the case, let's put in some mechanism. We're talking about Keith Mitchell, one of the better politicians in the region. We're talking about Keith Mitchell, with over 20 plus years of experience in prime ministership. You're telling me that they never sat down and say, in the event that we lose the court case, let me put something in place to say, well, this is how we're going to pay people their money. You're telling me that they never put nothing in place? If they didn't, Grenadians, it shows the arrogance of the NNP government. It shows that they think that they're above the law. But then again, they have a track record of not paying when they lose cases. And I can name, but I won't. Because I'm a journalist, so I know. I won't. But the thing is, and I want to say it again, in the event that they did not win the case, that they lost the case, you're telling me that the NNP government, with over 20 odd years of experience in leadership and governance in Grenada and the Caribbean, did not put no mechanisms in place to pay people their money. I'd literally find it hard to believe. And if they didn't, it shows the arrogance of the NNP government. It shows that they know that no matter what they do, that Grenadians are going to put them back in power. That's just basically what they feel.
Well, listen, we have to end it right here. Definitely a spirited conversation. We were hoping that we'll have more engagement from both sides, where we could have a conversation and a debate more so on the agendas of the NNP and their vision, because we could all watch it and see different things. However, we made a call to a few members from the NNP, and those did not. We were unsuccessful in having anyone to come on to talk. But we are always open door to hear all sides of a conversation, and we still are. So we are appealing to the members of the NNP that they should, where we want to engage, and I'm not sure why they're not engaging us. We continue to be an open platform to hear everyone's side of the story. We're putting another appeal out there. But Samson, we thank you so much, my friend. And we're going to continue to follow what's happening from here, all right? And thank you again. And it was a late call, and you answered the call. Thanks again. Keep in touch.
God bless you.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right, guys, we're going to end it right here on the live. It was a back-to-back, and a lot said. If you guys want to take a look at the entire speech by the Prime Minister, it's on the page, so you could go back and take a look at it in its entirety. All right? Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being a part of our program today. We catch you guys again tomorrow at 6 p.m. on right here and Right Along Live. Good night. Right Along Live is brought to you by Brand Caribbean. Buy organic, eat organic. CaribbeanOrganics.com.